Welcome to our third floor. Today is May 3rd, 2025. How do we get into heaven? What can we do to guarantee that we get in? Last Monday, I paid a tribute to a dear friend who had passed away that weekend. Then it became a very emotional week. The funeral and burial were held on Saturday. He was of the Tulalip tribe. And so the services were a mix of Christianity and Native American spirituality. At one point after the service, my godson said, and this was his father who had passed, "It's sort of all the same thing. Both religions believe similar things. They both believe in God." I then tried to explain how I can see how it might come across that way. But Jesus doesn't agree. In John 14:6, he says in no uncertain terms, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." If you look at the root of most religions, including Christianity, there is a common premise that people need to become holy before they are worthy of standing in the presence of God, or the Creator, or the Great Spirit. Some religions exercise this concept of holiness a bit differently. For example, sometimes holiness is promoted as becoming one with Mother Nature, harmonious with life here on earth. Other religions define lists of do's and don'ts on how to be purified. Christianity is different. What Jesus taught is that there's absolutely nothing you or I can do to become reconciled with the living God. Making a longer list of do's and don'ts isn't going to do it. I was reading the book of Romans this morning, and what jumped out at me is this. And perhaps this is one of the reasons why we can't fix it ourselves. It's because we're not the ones who broke it. Adam broke it. Go back and read in Genesis chapter 3. It describes how Lucifer deceived the woman to disobey God. And I believe Adam did the same thing because he didn't want to lose her. So let's read something in Romans chapter 5. This is verses 18 and 19. It says, "Therefore, as through one man's offense, judgment came to all men, resulting in condemnation. Even so, through one man's righteous act, the free gift came to all men, resulting in justification of life. For as by one man's disobedience many were made sinners, so also by one man's obedience many will become righteous." In other words, it was Adam's disobedience that screwed everything up. Why did he do it? Or what did he do? He turned away from God. Why did that matter to us? Because today we are born with our hearts turned away from God. That's what sin means. You're turned away from God. But Jesus fixed it. And so we can now stand in the presence of God because Jesus fixed it. Jesus is God's anointed one. Amen. Amen.